Hello, my name is Neil Green. I'm an assistant professor and the online early childhood education coordinator for National Lewis's undergraduate college. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the 10 principles of online teaching at NLU. We know through research and just experience that if we do these 10 things, these 10 principles in our online classes, our student experience is going to be better and it's going to improve, and our experience as instructors is going to improve. We're going to be more fulfilled and happy. So today I'm just going to break down just some basics about each of the 10 principles, but the definitive document is linked here and it goes into more strategies that you can use, how to apply that to your classroom, and goes into each of these principles that I'm going to talk to you today in a little more detail. So, three things you can do right away and throughout your term for your online course is be active, be present. Your students need to know that you're there. Be accessible. Think through how are your students going to contact you other than just email, your phone, text message if you're comfortable with that, but have multiple ways for your students to get into contact with you. And then finally, one aspect of online teaching that is talked about, but maybe not as much as the others, is be yourself. Students want to know that we're humans, that we want to humanize our courses and that they don't feel like a robot is responding to their work or grading their paper and simply spitting back information. So be yourself. All right, let's dig into each of the principles briefly. Principle one says establish relationships in a safe learning environment. You can do that right away in every term with an up to date syllabus. Make sure it looks clean and nice, and make sure your late policy is posted easily for students to see so they know what to expect. And then welcome every student. Most courses in D2L in week one have a space where students can introduce themselves, even if it's a quick hello, how are you? Welcome to our course. I'm excited about learning with you and from you. Um, Acknowledging every student is important. So do that, and you'll be off to establishing those great relationships with students. Principle two, communicate frequently through diverse channels in the learning platform, including announcements, email, discussion topics, and Dropbox feedback. One thing that we've leveraged for a long time, and it's becoming more norm than anything, are Zoom synchronous sessions. You can have those sessions as a whole class, you can have them one-on-one or small groups, however you want to do it. But meeting students and whether that's through your office hours, I suggest meeting them depending on your course once or twice throughout the term. I enjoy meeting my students every week, but that depends on the course that you're teaching. And the important thing is with principle number two is respond to your students' emails and questions within 24 to 48 hours. They're asking a question for a reason, they don't know the answer. And as you know, if you've ever been waiting for a response where you have a question that you're kind of at an impasse and you need that answer to move forward, it can be frustrating. So respond to our students within 24 to 48 hours. Even if it's, you're hung up or whatever, just letting them know, hey, I have your email. I'll be responding shortly. So it's all about communication. And then principle number three speaks for itself. Post responses to discussion boards at least 2 to 3 times per week. Set your schedule and say, hey, this is my discussion day. For example, I use Wednesday afternoon as my day where I post my first responses to the discussion boards to try and further the discussion, ask clarifying questions, or dispel any misconceptions that students might have based on their initial posts. And then I use the rest of the week. I check in periodically Thursday and Friday to kind of update and make sure that I'm responding to as many students as possible. Ideally, you respond to every student every week. And in large classes, we understand 20 or more. Try to respond to at least half of those students and then alternate. Work out a system that fits your schedule and your style. Principle number four, return grades and feedback for assignments within 7 days. And you can use rubrics. There should be rubrics on every assignment. You can use the comment box to, type direct messages to students. You can make comments directly on student work, which I think is powerful, and students seem to appreciate that. And we also have tools such as Turnitin, which will help identify plagiarism. And then we have Grammarly, which I know has really helped my students improve their writing. It's a beefed up, it's free through NLU, and it's a beefed up spell and grammar checker from Word, basically. And then finally, use EAB, which is our platform to our student success platform, where if we see something that doesn't seem right or our students are starting to fail and we're concerned, report that to EAB, and then the team can take over, advising the coaches, and everybody gets involved, and we try and do what we can for this student. And then principle number five, communicate high expectations. Obviously, we want to clearly communicate our expectations. For example, as I mentioned, I post my initial reaction to their discussion boards by Wednesday and take the rest of the week to reply to at least a minimum of two classmates. So if that's your expectations for students to do that in the discussion board, you want to make sure they know exactly what that is. And then also, in principle number six, this is important. Provide multiple formats of content in your course. What that means is not just text and reading out of textbooks anymore. There's use video, TED Talks is great, audio, or other media, case studies, etc. Record yourself. Get comfortable. If you're not comfortable in front of camera, you can do it as I'm doing today, where you have a presentation and just talk it through. But get into that habit of, creating personalized content. Your students really appreciate that. And then principle seven, encourage and create community engagement. Provide students an opportunity to work collaboratively. Through Zoom is when I do it a lot in breakout rooms where you can have students kind of work together on a common problem, but give them that space to work together. A lot of times students who are online feel isolated, and doing this gives them a chance to really feel a part of the school, which they are, and work together always yields nice results. And then principle eight, log in at least every other day. Every day is preferable. Believe me, there's always something to do in your course. And then principle nine, be consistent and use patterns. Post a weekly announcement. Create personalized grading schedule. What that means is I start grading assignments on Thursday. I try to, sometimes I can't. And then Friday. And then if it has to go to the weekend, I try and finish it on Friday. But if it has to go to the weekend, I finish it on Sunday. And then email students who are missing work. Hey, here's a general reminder. Make sure you get your work in. And then finally, principle 10, be ready to teach. Prepare as you would for a traditional face-to-face course as much as possible. And you want to have a plan, you want to execute that plan. And I strongly suggest keeping it simple, getting your, and getting your footing with a few Zoom features, such as the breakout room, maybe polling, to sharing your screen so that you can get your feet wet, gain some experience, and then keep adding to your teaching repertoire. So finally, thank you, and I appreciate your time. Have fun. Online teaching and learning differs from face-to-face classes, and it may be something completely new to you, but you may just find it's your niche. Believe me, I did not set out to have this as my niche, but it turns out this is where I feel most comfortable. And again, thank you. A pleasure to meet you and talk to you today. And have fun and reach out if you have any questions. Thank you.